Hola familia, this is Samuel Packard, and it's been a while since I've talked to y'all in this tape recorder. And today is my first month anniversary aquí in Mexico. So it's been a month, and time goes by real fast when you're on a mission. But that's good, because we don't want things to be dragging along. I don't like the slow days are always your bad days. So because since this month has gone like, that's a good indicator that I had a pretty good month. Usually the first month is the hardest month for missionaries, and I'm hoping that it'll be true in my case, because if this is the hardest month, then the rest should be a blast. So, cross my fingers. I've had my ups, had my downs, but in general, every week gets a little bit better. Of course, I've only had 4. But my hardest week was probably week. I've been here 4 weeks. My hardest week was probably week 3. It was real hard on me, because the newness of the mission wore off, and I still couldn't understand very much. But I've been lucky and been blessed. Here's the situation. I explained the whole situation on my other cassette tape, but some Mexican robbed me. Actually, I left it somewhere, and I think a Mexican robbed it. So I'll go ahead and say some Mexican robbed it, and he's listening to the tape and listening to my explanation of what's happened to me so far. But I'll go ahead and repeat myself. When I got here, on the plane, on the way up here, I gave away 3 Book of Mormons, 2 in English, 1 in Spanish. The 1 in Spanish was the easiest. I just talked to the guy and gave it to him and told him it could change his life. He was real nice. One of the ones in English was this guy. He acted like he was really interested, but I don't know if he really was. My companion. Now, we had a companion, my second companion. First companion, MTC companion. Second companion is the companion just to fly to Salt Lake City. So I had this companion for 4 hours. So I guess you can call him my companion if you want to. So my companion, he thought it was one of the most spiritual and greatest experiences in the world. But no, you're later. I'm going to let y'all talk to my companion in just a second. My companion now. But anyway, the experience, I gave 1 Book of Mormon in Spanish away, 1 Book of Mormon in English, and the 1 in English, my companion, just for the trip, thought it was a wonderful experience, and really the guy was just being overly nice, just not to hurt her feelings. He wasn't super smart, and I don't know. But who knows? Who am I to judge? Maybe he'll read it and change his life. All I can do is hope. All my job is to provide an opportunity for people to accept the gospel. So I did my part. I hope he reads it. And on the trip, and then I gave another Book of Mormon away to Chris Berry, who gave it to a person that he was talking to. So a lot of éxito. Éxito in Spanish means success. But my most success is I spent a lot of time talking to this one guy. I just talking to him. I call it BRT, build relationship and trust. And the spirit was real strong, and all I was doing was talking to him and explaining to him why I'm serving a mission and going to Mexico. And he spoke real good English. Real good English. They didn't even have a strong accent. And so this guy who lives in Mexico, when he got through talking to me, he's fairly rich. He handed me his card, and he said, call me up sometime. I want to learn more about this church. And so I was like, wow! You know, that's my first experience. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Right when I left at MTC, I was determined to baptize the first person I was going to talk to. And I said, the first person I sit next to the plane, I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to give him a Book of Mormon, explain to him, bear my testimony, and he's going to be converted just like that. Well, my first person that I talked to after I got out of the MTC, I sat down, and this guy from Poland that lives in Provo, he sat down next to me, and he could hardly speak English. Here I am trying to learn Spanish, and I got this guy from Poland that hardly speaks English. And so I listened to him with all my heart, and I understand about half of what he says. So, and he is an atheist. And this atheist explains to me why, I bear my testimony, and I said, there's a different dimension. He was real smart. He knew about some books and stuff. And he said I bear my testimony and say the reason why I know this church is true is because I feel that it's true. It's a different dimension. It's not something you can prove. It's something we look through this life, and sometimes in only 3 dimensions. Things we can see, touch, smell. But sometimes we forget the things that we feel. And that's how I know this church is true. Because how it makes me feel. Without it, when I don't obey the commandments, I feel bad. And he went and he tried to prove to me, saying the reason why I feel this is just because I'm part of a mass movement, and that because I feel like I'm part of a program. I'm really just a subject of society. Anyway, he went on and on and on. And I understood what he was talking about, and actually, all his theory and logic came from one book called The True Believer, and I had read this book, and so I could argue with him a little bit. But we were talking. There was no contention in between us. But when he got through explaining to me how I was a victim of society, well, a product of society, and I got through telling him, even if I am, it doesn't matter because I'm so happy. I said, if the whole purpose is to be happy in this life, I mean, that's what we're all looking for. I found it. I know I found it. I'm just trying to help other people find it too. You need to read this book. But he went right through his ear, and he said that all the best professors at BYU couldn't persuade him. He said, his exact words, they all try. They try to change me. Oh, I forgot his accent, but I'm trying to imitate his accent. They try to change me, but they cannot. They try and try, but they all give up. Those were his words, and I know why they all give up. So that's my first experience outside of the MTC. How was it? You like it? It wasn't that bad. But after that, I talked to that, like I already explained to y'all just a second ago, about the guy that lives in Mexico. Now that was a good experience. It's like one of my teachers said in the MTC, every good experience washes away 1,000 bad experiences. So, that's my trip. When I got to the Mexico City, pollution was bad and it hurt my eyes. I don't know if that's a coincidence that my eyes were hurting just when I happened to walk outside, or if the pollution is really that bad. But my eyes were hurting. All the guys were kind of nervous. For some reason I wasn't that nervous. New situations like this, I never had a hard time. Well, not never. I used to have a hard time. But now I don't have a hard time with new people, new faces. Not that much. And so when the president's there, it was a lot of fun. But we drank this stuff. We went to his house. We ate his food. We drank this stuff called rice water. Or water of rice. Agua de arroz. And I thought, it's okay. I didn't like it that much, but it was okay. But now, I love it. I love it. Because it's like the cream of the crop. The president's rich, and so we drink it. Well, it's okay. But now that I've been here in the mission field for a month, whenever I drink agua de arroz, water of rice, I love it. Man, I'm like, I really do like it. But, see, yes, my taste buds have changed a bit. Okay, now here's the situation. I've been building up to it. My mission call, where I'm going. Well, the one place I did not want to go is Acapulco. That's how Americans say it. Pero Acapulco. Anyway, Acapulco is about 7 hours away from Mexico City. I wanted to serve my mission in Mexico City because, so just right there. Well, I got my mission call. he said I was going to Guacamayas. And so I was pretty excited. Then I found out that it is the furthest point I could have possibly gone in the total mission. I am in the outskirts, the furthest point away. It took me 2 days to get here in Guacamayas. And so that's pretty far. 2 days. Now, the real reason why it took me 2 days, not because I was traveling for 2 days, but I traveled for 2 half-a-days. But one of the half-a-days, the first day of traveling, I finished traveling, and the second half of the trip I'd have been in Guacamayas at 1 o'clock in the morning, and since it's against the rules to stay awake past 10:30, we had to spend the night on the floor in Acapulco. But my first night, so I got to work a little bit that night in Acapulco. In Acapulco, I saw a blind man. It was my first experience with someone teaching. My teaching experience. I didn't teach. I only watched other missionaries teaching. And so I listened, and it was a blind man, and he was listening to the discussions. And I saw the missionaries. They had this Book of Mormon, and they had it lifted up, trying to catch some light. They had it lifted up in the air, like even with their head, reading it sideways, trying to catch the light of the nearest lamp, the nearest telephone pole, trying as hard as they can to read. And finally, after I had been there for about 10-15 minutes, they said, "Listen, sir," they said his name, I forgot his name, "we're going to have to go ahead and cancel this and finish this another day." And he was like, "Oh, can't you do it now? There's no loose?" No, he can't see. He says, "No loose, no loose." Loose is light. "There's no, can't you finish it now?" "No, sir, sorry, we're going to have to do it another day." "No, please, I like it." And I was just like, wow, this is what a mission's like here in Mexico. Really was a cool experience. Chévere experiencia. Cool experience. So, I've had some powerful experiences the first couple of days. But I slept the night on the floor. Hard, cold floor, no blanket, so only a pillow to rest. But this pillow it wasn't the nicest pillow in the world. That's all I can say about it. It was old, small, probably had animals in it. And so the next day I came to Guacamayas, and I met my companion, Elde Robledo. Elde, un momento. He's packing. So, I came here to Guacamayas. Now here is the deal at Guacamayas.
Hey, el Dominguez!
It's my familia.
It's familia.
That's one older. See, what I'm doing right now is I'm waiting for a meeting, and 2 elders are late, and so I have extra time. That's why I'm talking to you all right now. Usually I don't have extra time. But I came to Guacamayas, and the deal is they cut Guacamayas in half because it was on fire. I mean, tons of people are interested in the church here. And they cut it in half, and they added 2 more missionaries. One, Elder Robledo, and also Samuel Packard, Elder Packard. So they cut it in half, and I spent my first week with the other, there's 2 other missionaries in Guacamayas. And I worked with one of the other missionaries, not with Robledo. Robledo worked with, we kind of like went on splits, so that way we can learn about Guacamayas and learn the people. So we did this for a week. I want to tell y'all something. My companion in MTC, he was sorry. Well, he was a good guy. He really was. Had a big heart. He had a lot of good characteristics. But there's a few things about him that we didn't match perfect. But Elder Robledo, I prayed a lot about him in the MTC. And I promise, the Lord answered my prayer perfectly. Almost everything about him is perfect for me right now, because he has a lot of patience. He has a sense of humor, which makes it easier, because a lot of times you get frustrated. And he works hard, and the best thing is he obeys the rules, or he wants to obey the rules. Now, we don't always obey the rules perfectly, but we try. And it's hard. It really is hard. Not because, well, also because we're weak, but the real reason why it's so hard is because the rules that are hard to obey are the ones that take up a lot of time, like in the morning, the studying time. But we're trying as hard as we can, and the hardest rule for me is to make it back in the house by 9:30, 9:45. It's really hard. But I'm going to introduce, here's my companion. He's going to say a few things to y'all.
Hi, I'm Elder Robledo.
Robledo.
My com is Elder Packer.
Sí,
Packer.
Y Elder
Alright.
Robledo es un stud.
I'm stud. Yeah.
Y también...
And handsome. I'm handsome. Yeah.
Hey, mother.
But he's cool. He's cool. And he works hard too. And so far, my second day, I came to Guacamayas. We had baptism. My second day. And second week, we had a baptism. Another baptism. Now, the first baptism, I didn't know the person getting baptized. But the second one, the 5 kids, and I knew all 5. But I didn't teach any chalas. Now, this past Sunday, 2 people got baptized, and I taught 6 chalas for each one, so let's add it together, 12. I taught either 3 or 4 of the 12 chalas between the both. So, yeah, I taught him some, but there's something weird. I learned this lesson, and it took me a long time to learn this lesson. I was real worried about the numbers, because they make big goals. Okay, they have these goals. Baptize 15 people this month. And then, we're going to find 20 people. We're going to get 20 referrals. All this good stuff. Well, I was real worried about the numbers. Oh, Elder, we need to work harder. We need to find some people here. Key. But I learned a lesson not to worry about numbers. Solamente. The numbers are made to help you out, but the people are not numbers. Okay, it's kind of hard to explain exactly. But people are not numbers, and so don't work. And the people can really feel it's just a little bit less love when you're looking at the person thinking, oh, yes, I found one more person. Okay, one more person to go after this person. After I get through talking to them, and I get them, okay, when you find a person, that means you have them written down to teach them. You write them in your schedule, a time to teach the chala, the discussion. So that means find. I found them. Encontrar. Find. So, one more person. I found one more person. See, this is bad. This is a bad thing. And I had to learn this lesson slow and hard way. It took me about a month to learn it. And so baptisms. You hear people say all the time, oh, see, I didn't baptize anyone. I didn't convert anyone. The Spirit converted them. Well, they're speaking the doggone truth. Because, you give a lot of chalas, discussions, and I give the discussions almost the same every time. The only thing different between a good discussion and a bad one is the Spirit. And that's for the Spirit. That's for the people. So, I say, hola familia! Okay, that's one of my companions. So anyway, the point is, 2 people got baptized this Sunday, but I'm not going to, 2 people got baptized. I baptized 2 people, because I really didn't baptize me either. One of the companions baptized them. So, but I'm not going to worry about numbers. I only use the numbers to help me out, help me work harder. Okay, enough of that. That's it. Okay, explain a few things about the weather. Let's see. Sorry I'm talking so long at one time. You can stop this tape and then listen to it at different times whenever you want. But it's all good. But it's my only time to really talk on the tape. So, the weather. The weather here in Guacamayas. Well, I haven't quite figured it out exactly how to explain it. It is not quite as humid as Texas in the middle of the summer, but it's pretty close. But ironically, even though it's humid, it is extremely, extremely dry. And it hasn't rained yet. I've been here a month and I haven't seen a drop of rain. And sometimes for a week or two I won't even see a cloud. So it's very dry. But it is also, más o menos, more or less, green. Because the ocean's not very far away and there's a river that runs right through Guacamayas. So, it's humid but dry, but yet green. So, whatever you want to think of that. The sun is very strong, and at first my skin almost died, and sometimes it's red. I've had a red face for a month now. I'm a redhead, but not because of my hair. But people know that I'm a güero. Güero is the word for I'm North American. And it's hot, and my skin, I have this rash, and it won't go away because I'm always sweating. Oh, I drink a bunch of water, a bunch. But I'm always thirsty, even when I'm full of water. This rash, it spreads real easy when you're sweating. Because I don't know, something about being hot and sweaty, you itch a lot easier. And so this rash been with me for about 3 weeks now. Oh, that's almost the whole time I've been here. But that's okay, I'm starting to get used to it. The second week I was here, it was on my face, by my lips. And then a week later, it was all in my eyes. It was bad. It looked gross too. People, what's wrong with your face? What's wrong with you? Are you sick? And they said, oh, it's the sun because you're güero, huh? You're white. You're a North American. It's the sun. And I said, I didn't know the word for rash. I still haven't quite figured it out. And so how do you explain? No, it's not the sun. It's a rash I have. I don't know what I'm allergic to. I didn't know how to say that in Spanish. So I just kind of agreed with them. Oh, yeah, see, I'm güero. See, I have a hard time with the sun. But it's all good. So that's the weather. And that's, I'm about 5 degrees more dark. 5 degrees more dark. I'm pretty dark, but I have the best farmer's tan you have ever seen. So I'm right up there. If you had a book of the Guinness Book of World Records with the best farmer's tans, I'm right up there with the other missionaries in Guacamayas. Well, other American missionaries. So, the food, there's only been 2 foods I didn't like, and one was you ate yesterday, one I ate today, and they weren't even foods, they were drinks. One was a fruit today. It was a fruit, and it reminded me, I promise, I drank it, and I thought it was carrot juice, and I thought it was carrot juice for a long time until someone explained it otherwise, and so I was real confused why I didn't like it. But my first impression was throw up, vomit, whatever you want to call it. They call it vomita aquí. That's the first impression. Now, it's not real strong impression, but when you drink it, that's what I think about. I think it's because I don't know if y'all remember me having a hard time eating barbecue, but it was because I was sick and I threw up and I tasted that barbecue that I had eaten earlier in the morning, and entonces, therefore, I couldn't eat barbecue for like 5 years. Well, here, when I eat that fruit, it reminds me of the last time I threw up, and I can't. Oh man, it was bad because the member, it was like a luxury. She handed it out. I said, oh, here. All the other missionaries, oh, thanks. And I couldn't drink it. And so I kind of, when she wasn't looking, I switched cups with her, with the missionaries. And then she actually brought out the fruit of the drink. And I didn't know it was the same fruit. Again, I thought it was carrot juice. They did something with their carrot juice. And so I took a big chunk of this fruit and I started eating it, trying to figure out what it tastes like, and it was the same stuff. And she didn't leave this time, so I couldn't give it to my companion, so I had to eat the whole thing right in front of her. And I had a hard time. Listo? Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to have to go on a break. I'll explain more about the food and how hot it is. Okay, in a momento. Okay, I think I was talking about the food. I'm back now. But okay, the food. When I first came here, now I had been practicing in the MTC to eat Tabasco sauce. Well, and then some people told me I had gotten pretty good. I could eat a pretty good bit of that Tabasco sauce in my food. And I was pretty doggone proud. In fact, in my district at the MTC, I could eat the most Tabasco sauce. In fact, I was the only person eating Tabasco sauce in my food. But that's okay. I was practicing. I knew I needed it. Well, my first day here in Guacamayas, the food was hot. And I had to eat every bit of it. And my companions, well, they were just looking at me halfway laughing because I sweat. You start sweating so much when you eat that hot food. And my companions in the MTC, they said, "Oh, you're trying to train your mouth to be able to eat hotter food. Let me tell you what about that Tabasco sauce. It's candy for them Mexicans. It's candy." And see, the people going to South America, the food's not as hot. In Mexico, that's where it's the hottest. Well, I'm going to Mexico. Well, sure enough, when I get here, I pull out that Tabasco sauce Michael gave me for Christmas, and guess what they started doing? They started eating it like candy, putting it in their hand and licking it. They said, "Oh, wow, this is so good." So they were right. That kind of tells you about what the food is like. The food's not as hot. I mean, I've gotten used to the food real fast. I just sweat a lot. That's my only problem. And another problem is not the pain in my mouth. It's the pain. Okay, when I eat, the food is usually soupy, and it gets in the edges of my lips and stuff, and I wipe it off. You know, I'm sweating. My face is sweating, and so I'm wiping my face a lot, and I get the chili, the chili in my face. And sometimes it gets above my eye, and when it gets above my eye, it hurts bad. So this happens kind of a lot. I don't know why. I have a natural tendency to wipe the sweat off my face. And when you wipe your sweat off your mouth, like, you know, above your lip, in between your nose and your lip, people always get that sweat there. When you wipe that off, you also wipe your lip where all that pica, the peppers are. And then you wipe the rest of your face, and your face is burning more than my mouth. So that it hurts too, and then it gets in your eye, and the more I try to fix it and rub it off, the more it spreads, and the more it hurts. I hate it when this happens. Okay, well now that's the food. I haven't eaten. The worst thing I've probably eaten was, I think I ate some intestines of a cow one time. First they told me it was. You never really know. They told me it was brain meat. Meat of the brain of a cow. Then finally someone else told me it was cow intestines. But it tasted pretty doggone good. And so I ate it. In fact, I love beans, and so it's no problem. They serve beans, they serve rice a lot, they serve chicken almost with every meal. And I like chicken, so. But they serve it with everything. And they serve eggs too. Okay, that's the food, and that's the temperature. I want to talk a little bit about the people. Big subject. I'll just cover a little bit of it. The people here, they all speak Spanish. No. For me, when I first came here, that's all I knew, because, you know, I couldn't figure out the people because I couldn't understand what they're saying. But you can watch the people. The families here in Mexico are so strong. They love each other so much. The father abusing the wife, either they do a good job hiding it when I talk to them, or really, there's just so much love in the families. And it's beautiful. It really is. When you teach a child to the family, and the kid starts cuddling up with the dad and the dad, wow. It really is awesome. The people are really friendly with us, the missionaries, members and non-members. In fact, I've only been turned down 3 times when asking to give a charla. One was yesterday, just because they didn't want to change religions. But they were real friendly. They said, "You can come by and talk to us all you want, we just don't want to change religions." So all the other times, I want to listen to the charlas. Now, they may not, some of them really don't want to listen to them. but they say yes because they don't want to hurt our feelings. So, but it's really cool. It really is cool because people listen to you. And the first chala, we give that one so much. I almost have it memorized. Just memorizing. Like Frank, Elder Hal, he had a problem with memorizing. I too have a little problem with memorizing. Especialmente cuando memorizando en español. Spanish is hard for me to memorize because I don't really understand everything. But I'm learning a lot more. There was like a barrier. Remember I told you the third week was my hardest? Well, my third week I learned something really simple. It's the lays, los, las, says. Y'all probably don't know what they are, but I mean they're the it's, he's, she's. The short words in English that really mean another word, but you say it. Well, in Spanish they put them in a different place than they do in English, and so I was really confused, and it took me a week to figure it out. But that week was hard on me. But now I'm learning. The more I learn Spanish, the more I learn the chalas, the more I learn Spanish. The more I learn Spanish, the more I learn chalas. It's like a spiral thing. So I'm learning more and more and more. Well, but it's okay, I'm back. This is the other side of the tape. And I probably can't talk for very long because we're about to have this meeting. And we should have already had it a long time ago. But one of these missionaries, remember I told you that there's 4 missionaries in Guacamayas, 2 new missionaries, and I'm one of the new missionaries, my companion is the other. Well, one of the old missionaries, who's been here for about, I don't know, a long time. It's been about 4 or 5 months. Who actually was my companion, Robledo's companion before. My companion Robledo had Castañeda as a companion. But Castañeda has been here for about 6 months, 4 months, around there, and he's leaving today. And he always takes a long time. So that's why he's late to this meeting, and we can't start without him because he's the zone leader. And he's the one that heads the whole thing. But that's okay. I can talk to y'all. But he's leaving, and that means we're going to get a new guy. I've been here a month. My companion's been here a month. Castañeda, he's leaving, and the other guy's been here 1 week more than me and my companion. That means a bunch of new blood here in Guacamayas, and that's good. Me and my companion, I'm real new. I'm new to the mission. Castañeda's companion, he's new. I got more time on my mission than he does. It's real hard to explain. But the point is, you got 2 greenies, and you got one, my senior companion, new to Guacamayas, and you got this new missionary coming in. A lot of fresh blood. And the good thing about fresh blood is a lot of animal, a lot of excitement. And it's good. We're hoping to baptize a lot of people. Not because for the numbers, but because everybody deserves to hear the gospel. Everyone does. And it's really nice to watch a family. There's this one new couple in the family, and they're so excited to learn about the gospel. And they study it, and her sister just got baptized this Sunday because she told the missionaries. I even gave 2 of the charters to her little sister, and she got baptized. Oh, it's so awesome to see people's lives change or improve because of the gospel. It's wonderful to be a part of that. I really wish I would have worked a little harder with the missionaries before I came here, and I think I'm going to try to make up for it by working with the missionaries when I return on my mission. And also, I want to talk a little bit about, I know this is off the subject, but it is extremely important to do your home teaching. Not just to do it, but actually talk with the people and become friends with the people. I didn't do it. This is a confession to my whole family. I did not go home teaching from once Michael turned, I think, 14 or 12, and he became the companion of Dad. I didn't have a person to go home teaching with for about 5 years. And finally, when I got one, it was like a year before my mission, and I just didn't do it with this guy because he didn't make me do it. So basically, I haven't gone home teaching in a long, long time. And I hear when you get new members or you get inactive members, you're like, oh, come on, someone's got to go visit this family. I don't have enough time. I really don't have enough time to go visit all the people. I don't have time to visit all the members. I don't even have time to teach all the people that want to listen to the Charlists. That's how many people here want to listen to the Charlists. And a lot of, like for example, one day we had 7 Charlists, and well, we didn't give 7 Charlists, but we had 7 appointments, Charlists. Now, a lot of times they don't keep their appointment because they forget. But that's a lot of appointments. That means that there's a lot of people wanting to listen to the gospel. But you got to weed out the good. We don't weed out the good and bad. They weed themselves out. A lot of people are only listening because they don't want to turn us down. But that's okay. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're having fun. And we're growing. When I first came here, it was kind of like a spiritual downfall a little bit because, you know, I'm reading every day in Spanish, Book of Mormon. I don't understand all of it. And so it's kind of like when I first came here, kind of like I'm not reading my Book of Mormon, not reading the Bible. Because I was reading in Spanish, I didn't understand it all. But it's getting better every day. I haven't cried yet, not one time. Here. So, I mean, when I get depressed, it's not very much. I mean, just little. And I've only gotten depressed a little bit, like once or twice. I think 3 times. 3 times in a month, that's not bad, is it? Once the first night here, and my 3rd week. Twice my 3rd week. But that's good. Okay, my missionary stories. Well, I only have about 3 that are worth telling. I have a few more, but they're kind of more on the light-hearted side, kind of funny. Okay, I'll tell you one of the funny ones, and I'll tell you 3 spiritual ones. Okay, spiritual, funny, spiritual. One day we weren't having very much success. My 2nd week I was here, and we were going around to a lot of people, and they didn't keep up to their agreement. Oh yeah, I'll be at my house at 4 o'clock. Well, they weren't there. It was on the weekends. Weekends, well, those are the days that people usually don't keep their bargain. But they're usually pretty good too, because you can find other people, because people are in their house on weekends. But anyway, we're out searching for people and searching for referrals. People give us referrals in bad directions to the houses, and that means we got to go knocking on doors asking where so-and-so lives. Well, we were doing this, and we kind of we were doing this for a while, and we kind of got tired and almost gave up because people giving us different directions. And we saw this old man. We started talking to him, and we talked to him a little about Christ, a little bit about Heavenly Father, and then as we were talking to him, we set up an appointment to teach him the discussion, and lo and behold, an old lady came by and she sat down. She sat down on the rocks. I don't know why she sat. She was humble. She was real humble. She didn't want to sit down in a nice seat, so she sat down in the rocks, and she started talking to us. And I didn't understand a whole lot. It was only my 2nd week, but this is what I did figure out. This old lady was interested, but not a whole bunch. So really, that's how people really start off. Curious, but she had received some of the discussions 40 years earlier, and she didn't know why the missionary didn't return. And so she wanted to hear more. And I told my companion afterwards, and I felt the spirit kind of strong. And I said, look, companion, we haven't had very much éxito, success today. But I believe we had a lot. Because some missionaries forgot about this old lady 40 years ago. But God didn't forget about her. So He sent the missionaries 40 years later. Or He somehow helped us find her. Or her find us. So anyway, I didn't get to teach this lady because Castañeda, he was only my companion for a week or two to help me find, introduce me to the area, and then I went back with my real companion. And this old lady is the other side of Guacamayas. She's not my area. But the other two missionaries got to teach her. And so it was like, wow, it was a good experience. Okay, later on that day, it was that very same day, and we weren't having a lot of success. We went to this lady's house, and sure enough, she wasn't there. So we were standing there waiting around, like, man, everyone is not in the house. We were waiting because she was almost through. She almost through working, and she works like right next to her house. So we were waiting, and this guy came up to me, and he came to me. Usually I have to go up to people, but he came up to me and he said, "Who are you?" And I said, "Mi nombre es El de Facar." And he says, "What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you teaching?" And then I, for some reason, thought that he was talking about, well, want to know. A lot of people want to be taught English. Hey, will you teach me English? They think they can learn it in a couple of days. So I said, no. You see, yeah, I can teach you English, but I have to set up your appointment and all this good stuff. I don't know a whole lot in Spanish, and so I really won't understand a lot of your questions in Spanish. But as I was saying this, my companion, no. He wants to know what you're teaching, not will you teach me English. And so I said, oh, but this guy spoke a little bit of English. And so like, boom, the Spirit, because this guy was interested. And he says, what are you doing here? Where are you from? In English. And I thought, wow, this is my opportunity to talk in English. I can actually talk. Now my senior companion doesn't understand, and I understand. This is like a weird feeling for me. Usually it's the other way around. And I said, well, I'm from Texas. He says, what are you doing here? But in Spanish accent. And I said, well, I'm sharing a message with my friends here in Mexico. And I said, I don't know all these people. I said this, but I know that this message can bring happiness. And he says, why do you every day? He said, every day I see you. I see y'all walking, the missionaries walking in their white shirts, walking with their ties, and I don't know why you are doing this. And then I told him, I am very, very, very happy. I got to say this in English. Happy. I'm happy because of what this church has to offer. I want to share this with other people. And then I said, no. Then he said, every day I work too. He said, every day me and my friends, we work. But we don't know. There's something missing in our lives. Really, I promise this is what happened. He said, there's something missing in our lives, and I don't know what it is. It's like we're searching for something. And he said this in English too, so I could understand it all. And I told him, I said, we have a message. Now, we can share this message with you if you want to. And maybe this can answer some of the questions of what we're doing here and what we're sharing. And he said, he looked at me in the eye and he said, I want to be like you. And the Spirit was, wow, the Spirit was really strong. And I thought, man. And I said, let us share with you this message. And he said, I can't. My father is Católico. He's a strong Catholic, and he doesn't want to hear any other religion. Thanks for talking to me. And then he started to leave, and I said, hey, we're not trying to convert you into another religion. We just want to explain what we're doing. We just want to explain about the church so that you can understand more. He says, I know. He said, it's all good. Well, está bien. And then he started to leave. But the spirit was so strong. And I turned to my companion and I said, companion, we walked around a whole lot today looking for houses, looking for people. And we didn't have a lot of success. But I promise, we had success. People like him see us every day walking. And they wonder, what are they doing? What is different about them? And some of them even say, I want to be like him. And we just patted me on the back and we went on our own way and we chartered with the lady that we were waiting for. But maybe one day, this guy, it may be in 40 years from now, like the old lady we had met earlier before. Maybe this guy in 40 years will find the missionaries. And he too will say, I once talked with the missionaries. I want to learn more. Teach me. Who knows? But we're going to leave it up to the Lord. He helped the old lady find us, and he'll help this man find some future missionaries so that this guy can learn about the gospel. So those are one of my spiritual experiences, and it was really strong. Now, on a more lighter side, to wake y'all up in case y'all fell asleep. Okay, I don't understand a lot of Spanish. Okay, but I'm going to share with you a few words in Spanish that I did not understand, but now I do. Golpear is beat. It's like beat for music, and también, also it's beat, like beat up. Golpear. Okay? Now, I was in the shower, just washing my hair, and I was taking a good shower. Nice and long. It was at night. Usually we take them in the morning, but I decided to take mine at night this time. No, I don't know why. I just decided to. And I was taking a nice long shower in cold water. We don't have any hot water, by the way. We don't have a stove. We don't have a refrigerator. We don't have nothing. All we got is, I've been sleeping on the floor for the past, I haven't slept in a bed yet. So one day I'll sleep in a bed, hopefully. But I've been here a month, and I've been sleeping on the floor every night. But my first night, I slept on the cold floor. I sleep on the top of a blanket on the floor. And it's nice. It's my bed. I'm kind of getting used to it. But anyway, back to my story. I was taking a nice shower, nice cold shower, because I was kind of hot from walking all day. And then I heard someone knocking on the door, and I thought, oh, brother. I'll explain to the kids. There's these kids. They like to bug us. I'll explain them later on in the tape. But anyway, I thought it was these kids knocking on the door. So I thought, oh, brother, these kids are going to try to come in the house, and I'm taking a shower. And he starts talking to Castañeda, one of the missionaries. And the other two missionaries were still working. And then all of a sudden, Castañeda, one of the missionaries, we had kind of gone in splits. Me and Castañeda, and Robledo, mi companion, and the other missionary were out working. And Castañeda, he came in the shower, and I was thinking, what is this? And he starts talking to me in fast Spanish. Fear was in this guy's eyes. And here I am, soap all over my body and my hair, and I'm taking my time, and he starts talking to me. And then I don't understand him. Then he leaves. And I thought, well, I want to take a shower. I'm taking a shower. Well, he returns. This time was closed. And he says, cambiar. I understand, cambiar, that's change. He started screaming, cambiar, golpear, cambiar. And I'm like, oh. And so I kind of figure out through his body language that he wants me to change my clothes. And he's screaming, cambiar. So I grabbed my little bathrobe that Nancy gave me for Christmas. And I put it in there, and I go in my room, and I start slowly changing. But my whole body had soap all over me. And I was like, man, why does he want... He starts pointing outside, speaking in Spanish real fast. And I did not understand. And he says, with a lot of fear in his eyes. He started screaming, golpear, la otro misioneros. And then he started doing the sign language of his fist beating in his head. And I thought, oh, brother. And then I thought, I started thinking. And, you know, this is a good minute, which is really, I mean, that's a long time when you got a lot of, someone thinks that the other missionaries are getting beaten up. And I don't understand a word. I'm standing there, and I'm going, no entiendo, por favor, please, explain. And he's like, go behind. That's beating. They're getting the other missionaries. And so just I figured out, the other missionaries are getting beat up outside. The person that knocked on the door told Castañeda that the missionaries are getting beat up outside. And so just as I started to get to change, the other missionaries walked in the door. Funny joke. Well, it wasn't funny for me. Here I was, soap all over my body, getting ready to change clothes, and they're all laughing at me, pointing to my hair because I have soap all in my hair. So they've been having a lot of fun with that. They tell a lot of the members that joke. They think it's really funny, but I didn't like it. And you should have. If y'all could have seen the fear of Castañeda in his eyes. He's telling me to change my clothes, and I'm like, I don't understand. No entiendo. I don't understand. No entiendo. And he's like getting clothes, throwing them at me. Hurry, change your clothes. I don't understand. The missionaries are getting beat up out there. Change your clothes. I don't know. But it was all a joke. Not a very good joke at that. But that's my joke. There's a lot of other things. A lot of other funny things that happen, but I try to make this cassette a little bit more on the spiritual side because, you know, I am a missionary and I just want y'all to I share the more spiritual things. But I want you to know, Michael and Dean, that, I mean, the missionary work, it's a lot of fun and it's a blast, but it's also a lot of work and the Spirit's strong. So you have your fun experiences. But here's another spiritual experience. It's about the power of priesthood, la sacerdocio. Okay, we were teaching the charter with this one family, and I really like this family. And I actually had this feeling before I went there that, oh man, this family's gonna be a bad family. They're not gonna listen. She didn't show much interest to listen to the charter. She tried to get out of it, but we kept on persisting. So she finally said yes because she blamed it on her husband, saying, oh, he doesn't want to listen to it. But I want to, but he doesn't want to listen to it, so I don't know if we really can. But we kept on persisting, and then finally we went, and we gave this, right when we gave the charter, the Spirit was strong. So right when we started, and just before we were through, just like Satan always tries to do, just before we explained about Joseph Smith, this lady started to have a heart attack, I think, or something in her heart. She's like, She started grabbing her heart, and then she couldn't breathe very much. And they ran to some other house, and they brought back this liquid over her face, and they put it all over her face, and it wasn't helping. I don't know what that liquid stuff was. It was something. But then the Spirit told me, give her a blessing. The Spirit told me, give her a blessing. But I didn't. I should have obeyed. But I really didn't. I was like, well, I don't have any oil. I don't know what to do. I don't want to ask her. But it was the Spirit for sure. And it wasn't like a voice or nothing. It's just a feeling. This is the Spirit. The Spirit is very simple, small. It's nothing profound. It's just a feeling. And if it's a feeling, if it's right, then go. I mean, if it's right and it's a feeling, good feeling, it's the Spirit. Well, it was here. In fact, I know it was because my companion, just as I was thinking it, I had decided I better not. I'm going to wait and see if this liquid stuff they're putting all over her face works. My companion gets up and he says, let's give her a blessing. Well, we put our hands over her head, and the Spirit was strong. I mean, I really felt in my heart that she was going to get better. We gave her a blessing, and I promise you, immediately, her husband had this towel, and he was waving it in front of her face, trying to give her air. And immediately when we finished giving that prayer, I didn't understand much of what was going on. But I knew that she was going to be better. And immediately when we finished the prayer, her husband sat down. Her husband sat down, we sat down, and she started breathing normal. Her husband somehow knew. When we finished the prayer, that she was going to be better too. Somehow knew. Right? I mean, as soon as, boom, finished the prayer, he sat down. It's like, okay, she's better now. And she started breathing so better and better and better, and then she was totally back to normal, and we finished the charla. We're giving them the second charla. They have problems, but they want to go to, they went to the church this Sunday. Well, the wife did. They have a few problems. They're not legally married, and you can't baptize them unless they're legally married. Well, okay, so get them legally married. Well, the husband is actually legally married to another woman that lives in another town, far away. It happened a long time ago, and so they can't really get divorced. Maybe one day. All we can do is hope. But the spirit was strong. They have a 7-year-old girl that couldn't get baptized in the church. It's kind of sad. They want to get baptized. They want to listen to all the charlas, and they loved. We talked to them, and me gusta. I like the charlas. I like them. And he explains in his own words the feelings of the spirit. I don't know exactly. This was later on when we visit him. I don't know exactly what it is, but I like this. I like the palabras de Dios. I like the words of God. I like it when y'all talk to us. I don't know what it is, but I just felt good. It was wonderful. Every good experience washes away 1,000 bad experiences. Well, those are some of my most profound experiences here in Mexico. There's been some good charlas and been bad charlas. Some people like, for example, one person acted like she was an investigator, but really she was an inactive member. And she listened to the whole charla. We gave away the Book of Mormon and everything, and we found out later on, by talking to her mom that lives in another house, that she's a member. So, there's people like that out there. There's also people out there that really want to hear. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use the last bit of this tape. Let you talk a little bit to my companions, the 4 people I live with. I live with 4 companions. Well, three other companions, but I work with one, Robledo. But the other 2, I've been blessed because I'm learning tons of Spanish because all I hear is Spanish usually. Oh, the people here, they love. I don't know what it is about being American, but all the kids go crazy about American. Hey. Hello, how are you? How are you? They speak with accent. They are speaking with an accent. But it's fun. Sometimes the hardest thing, sometimes it's harder to understand the accented English than it is to understand the Spanish. Because they try to speak in English and they speak it all wrong. Now when I hear this, I understand what they're feeling when I speak in Spanish. But the kids go crazy. And it's kind of an advantage I have because I'm American and people want to listen. People ask questions about Americans. Oh, yeah. And I know things like boxing, and I know things like just a few magic tricks. Magic tricks are good. Kids love them. Michael and Dean, learn them. The kids love them. They really do. And sometimes, through the kids, like for one family we found that wants to listen to the Gospels, it's because I went and shook the hands of this kid, and this kid fell in love with me. Probably just because I'm a widow, North American. But he loved giving me high fives, and so I gave him a bunch of high fives, and he goes crazy every time he sees me. Little bitty kid. But because he goes crazy, you know, you get to talk to the parents after that, and we start talking to them about the kids, and we talk about their family, talk about the importance of the gospel and families, and then we talk about, hey, nosotros, we have this plan about families. So can we share it with you? It only takes about 45 minutes. And they're like, oh, sure, well, no, yeah, about family. So anyway, basically what I'm trying to say, Michael Dean, it's good to learn little magic tricks for little kids. But don't spend all your time with the kids, because you're a missionary. But it's good. So, all is well in Zion, which is Guacamayas. I've been blessed. Probably the best place, well, the furthest place in the world, in Mexico City, South Mission. Probably the hottest, but the most humble people. Most humble people. This one guy, he's a poor guy. Oh, The people, I only have a little bit of room, but the people are so poor. They're real humble, but they're so poor. Our barn would make a very nice house for people. Usually, the cement houses are the more rich houses. The wood houses, like we have in America, are the very poor houses. But the reason why they're more poor is because they build them themselves, and they just nail a few boards together. And that you take like Uncle Marshall's playhouse. I mean, that's way nicer than, he has a big playhouse. Now our house is a little bit bigger, but I mean, a house like the size of me and Michael's room, a house that big, that's a big house. Usually they're about the size, some of the houses are about the size of the game room, maybe the music room, but some of the people have nice houses. But they're poor people. But the houses are clean, they sweep the floor. Now the streets, outside the streets, it's a little bit dirty. They just throw the dirt out there. But the houses are clean, they're clean people. They're not filthy people, they're just poor. But the cool thing is they don't know they're poor. They know a little bit, but they're happy. They are happy. The kids are extremely happy. So, they're perfect people to teach and share. Like one guy, his only coconut, he was chopping this coconut, trying to get to this, where he could cut it perfectly, where he could stick a straw in there and drink the water in it. Well, he had been working for quite a while, and when he got through, we were talking to him, he gave me the coconut, and he let us drink the water. And he just sat there and watched us as we drank. I didn't know this guy before. This is a new guy, but he had become a friend, and just like that. And so, great examples. Great examples. Not a member, not an old friend, just a guy that loved people. Great person. So that's that. That's guacamole. I only have like a few seconds left on the tape. The people are humble. The food is hot. I bet at times your companion will act like he's getting beat up in the street, and they'll start speaking fast Spanish at you. But at other times, you give a blessing, and you teach your child that'll change your life. It's wonderful. Okay, family, I love y'all so much. I miss y'all. I think about y'all. I hope that y'all are happy. Sorry for not talking in the tapes. I'm going to start talking more and share more personal stories. I love y'all tons. Take it easy, my family in Texas, and I'll see y'all in about 21 months. No, I'm joking. I'm not that chunky. In fact, I'm not chunky at all. Time flies by so fast that it's amazing. Here.